What's up, everyone? Back in the Garage of Awesomeness, back at it again on the Grandpa truck numero 5, the 2007 third gen that I picked up a few days ago. Handshaker, 5.9, it's an SLT. For the most part, pretty much as stock as I could find, and the price point I was trying to stick to. So I gotta say, I'm pretty fortunate to be able to have this truck and be able to kind of start from scratch, so to speak. And I do mean scratch. I mean, I've made the decision today that after kind of taking off the badges and whatnot and kind of getting a closer look at the paint, like up close, I don't think it makes sense just to kind of touch it up and do things here and there. So I'm just going to have the entire truck repainted. The body is in very good shape. It does have a couple little PDR dents here and there, which are not bad. And the truck is 98% rust free on the body, which is huge. I mean, the last trucks that I did, I had to swap doors on. So I had to find doors, take them apart, give them over to the painter, put everything back together. We mounted the doors up at the shop so I could take the truck when it was done. So this time around, I am super, super ecstatic that there's no rust on this thing, at least nothing that's crazy. There's no need to replace body panels or doors or weld in new metal pieces or anything. So I am super excited about that. So that should save me a little bit of money, save me a little bit of time. The last couple third gens that I had that I did full paint jobs on were at the body shop for about 2 to 3 months. So I'm hoping this maybe a month and a half, because I'd really like to be able to enjoy it this summer and kind of get as much done as I can while the weather's nice. Because last night, I don't know if you guys can tell, it snowed. So not a whole lot that I'm going to be doing on the truck today. I got the driver's side started as far as badge removal goes and the vent visors above the windows. I'm going to trim back the exhaust because it looks like crap because the tip is just rusted. And I guess if I'm going to drive this thing until it goes to the body shop or until they tell me, hey, bring it over, I want it to look as good as it can. Plus, not only that, come on, let me show you. This is the first big addition to this truck. Boom. I picked these up Saturday, brand new set. They are 5th gen, just stock Night Edition 20-inch wheels. I'm going to air those down to probably about 45 or 50 PSI, get them swapped onto the truck. I did get some black lug nuts as well off of Amazon. So they're ready to rock and roll. So I am excited. But here's what the driver's side looks like right now. So I got the big badge off right here on the door. I got the door spears off. Obviously took the running boards off last week. So the whole idea with this, and I finally came up with an idea for this truck. I finally know what I'm going to do to it. I have the picture in my head, and I really wish that I had skills like some of you guys and gals do with Photoshop, because the final plan for this truck, or unless someone says, hey, I'd like to buy it, just get it cleaned up and give it to me, which has happened before. I hope it doesn't happen with this one, because ideally my goal for this truck is I'm going to take the leveling kit off the front. Again, it's just a 2-inch spacer between the coil and the spring perch. I'm going to reverse level this truck. So I'm going to lower the back end down. Now what I mean by that is, and I'll show you, I'll do a video, but ideally I'd like this to sit about 2 to 3 inches lower back here, so it sits perfect with the front of the truck. Now, to achieve that, I'm going to do it one of two ways. I'm either going to do, what do they call those, like reverse leveling shackles or something, which go into the rear section of the leaf spring pack and actually help raise that up towards the bed. So in theory, it actually lowers the back end of the truck back down. Or these older Dodges have a bunch of metal blocks that sit between the axle and the leaf spring. The nice thing with that is, and I actually did it on a 2006 that I had years ago, and like a dummy, I got rid of it, but that's okay. You live and learn. I'm gonna move those springs from the bottom of the axle to the top and be able to reuse the U-bolts and all the hardware. And that, in theory, I think should net me about a 2-inch drop in the back. So, but I will do a video on that. That one I may actually do at the shop to have the truck on the lift and have a tranny jack under the rear axle, just so that way, A, I'm safe, and B, I can make sure that I've got everything that I need there. Because I am a little limited with what I've got in my garage, but I make do and I make it work. Okay, back to the truck. Now, this right here looks like garbage, right? And yes, I am going to put a full exhaust kit on this. I'm not doing that today or tomorrow or next week. So I'm going to trim that back to kind of clean it up, so at least it looks somewhat better. doesn't look so janky. It's part of the gig with these trucks. I mean, obviously, I think at one point this vent visor went all the way back here, but that's obviously going to come off today. So that's my plan for today. Get the rest of the badges off, get the door spears off, get the exhaust trim back, and get those wheels and tires swapped on. And as always, obviously safety first. Using this with taking the badges off has actually been pretty awesome because I'm using an eraser wheel as well. Right, picked this up for about 30 bucks over O'Reilly's. I love these things. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to just sit here with a heat gun or a power washer and just pick away at the adhesive. Now I just take off as much as I can and use that to clean it up. And obviously, if you don't press too hard, it doesn't damage the paint, doesn't damage the clear coat, doesn't scratch it. So I'm gonna finish doing the driver's side, get the exhaust done. I'll catch back up with you guys here in a bit, show you kind of the final product. And then probably go over a couple areas on the truck that have kind of just said, you know what, you should probably just paint the truck. Because although it is in really good shape for an 07, it is in really good shape for being a third gen, and it is in really good shape for being a one owner truck. There are things on the truck that are obviously out of the previous owner's control. One of them, for example, I'll show you real quick before I get back to it, is some of the clear coat issues the truck's having. So you got it obviously on the doors here, and then up on the top of the doors. I don't know if you guys can really see it. The clear coat is just kind of flaking away. And after closer inspection, the clear coat on the driver's side door, and I don't know if this has been painted before, but I don't know if you guys can really see it, if the camera can pick it up or not. It's peeling too. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to have someone, you know, touch this stuff up and make, you know, wet sand it and clean it up and all that. Obviously with the fender liners, or I'm sorry, with the fender flares this thing had, I would just feel more comfortable just reshooting the entire truck and getting it cleaned up. Starting with a fresh, clean paint job, paint matching the truck. That's my goal. I just want this thing to look good, run good, sound good, and turn a few heads here and there. So I'm gonna finish this stuff up. I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. Yeah, stay tuned, I'm pretty stoked. All right guys, back for the update on the third gen on the Grandpa truck. Yesterday, I actually finished kind of late, which is why I'm doing this video today. I got all the badges stripped off the truck. I got the vent visors taken off, and I actually ended up polishing the front and rear bumper. I don't know why. I'm gonna change them out anyway, but figured while I drive it, I might as well have it looking as good as it can. So recap, the thing had all the factory badges on it, had the door spears, kind of the door protectors down low. The tailgate was covered in all kinds of badges, factory badges and not factory badges, and it had the stock 17s on it. So I went through, took everything off. I actually swapped on the 5th gen wheels and tires that I was showing you guys earlier. And well, without further ado, here's the final result. Now, keep in mind, the truck is not obviously done, but if you guys recall, I don't know if I showed you, obviously it had a bunch of soot back here on the back bumper. The bumper itself was super discolored just over time. So I actually went through and polished it. I was actually kind of surprised on how good it turned out. But I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, for a factory bumper, right? Might as well have it as clean as I can while I'm driving it until it goes to the shop. And then obviously on the passenger side, same stuff, right? I went and washed the truck off yesterday. I took the badges that were up here off. I took the door spears that were on, took all that stuff off, and swapped on the 5th gen wheels and tires. Now I will say, for such a simple setup, the truck did turn out really clean. Polishing the front bumper didn't turn out quite as clean as the rear bumper, but definitely looks a heck of a lot better than it did. And I was actually, had no idea, but I actually polished the chrome grille, at least the outside of it, with the same stuff that I used on the bumpers. And I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised with how clean it turned out. Up front, nothing really a whole lot changed. I did take the front license plate bracket off, which is why it looks basically brand new right here and still kind of discolored on the outsides, but the bumper overall looks better. I'll be taking this off for the time being as well, because I will not be using that lower valence. And obviously the grille will get swapped out in favor of a paint matched one. So overall, the truck turned out really nice. I mean, check it out. I mean, not too shabby, right? I mean, for a stock truck with a leveling kit on it, it's not too bad. And I actually went ahead too, and I did replace the windshield wiper blades on this thing. Put some new wiper blades on it yesterday. These are Bosch, I believe, Visions or something like that. Really great wiper blade. I actually put them on all the trucks and the Jeep as well, because the passenger side, the the rubber was actually just kind of flopping on the windshield as I was using them. So driver's side turned out pretty good too. I remember yesterday I was showing you guys the clear coat is not as good on this side as it is the passenger side. I did figure out that this side has been painted, and I'm not sure the extent of it, but I know up top, right below the window, obviously you can see where there's a little bit more discoloration, and then obviously on the tops of the doors, and then right above the belt line down below. So, but that's it. I'm pretty stoked with how it turned out thus far. I ran out, my racer wheel wore down. So the only section I was not able to get totally cleaned off was actually above the back driver's side window. So I still have some adhesive up here that I have to take off. But overall, I'm super happy with how the truck's turning out. It cleaned up pretty well. I mean, knowing that I'm gonna be repainting this thing and changing the stance and look and everything, for now, I'm actually pretty content with it. I really do like the way that it looks. And I think, I mean, without getting crazy with a clay bar and compound and all that, I mean, this is good for me for now. I did clean up under the hood yesterday as well, which I wasn't able to get that done the way that I wanted to, but I will do an updated video under the hood as well. I'm gonna be moving some things around, kind of cleaning some things up underneath there. The insulation on the factory hood, which is to be expected for 2007, is drooping, kind of tore up, so I'll be getting rid of that as well, which doesn't matter because the hood's getting swapped. And I did actually get a call this morning that the hood should be delivered tomorrow or Monday. So chances are I'll probably swap that on just to test it and make sure everything's good before it goes to the body shops. So, but I'm pretty stoked. I'm actually really excited with how this thing turned out. I mean, I may just go full ham with this truck. I mean, the windows are pretty scratched, obviously. I mean, if you guys are accustomed with the second, third gen Dodges, when the sun hits them, I mean, they are pretty bad. And I know that typically stuff gets into these trim pieces, and obviously over time it just kind of scratches the glass. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. My goal is to make this thing look as good as I can with what I've got. So I may try to source some windows for this thing. I know it's getting a new windshield because it does have a couple big pits in it as well as a decent sized crack. So I figured I would do all that after it gets painted. Less to worry about getting any kind of overspray or, you know, anything to worry about when they're going to get replaced anyway. So but yeah, I mean, check it out. What do you guys think? Tell me down below. I mean, the truck cleaned up pretty nice. And for an 07, I mean, stock. Oh, and last but not least, I did clean up the exhaust too. So I did basically just kind of cut it down. I may throw a tip on there. I'm not really sure, but it will look as good as it can until it looks better. So I am actually, again, I'm pretty content with the way that it looks. So if you guys have anything that you'd suggest for the truck, leave them in the comments down below. Hit the subscribe, hit that like button. And again, I appreciate every one of you guys for watching and sticking with me. But there she is. Not too bad. Let's see if I can, here we go. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it a lot. So thank you. Making the next video now. So I will see you guys later.